conversation is on wedding preparations and expenses. We're not going to have this conversation alone. We have a guest with us live in the studio that is very experienced in doing events and especially weddings. His name is Adetunji Ajadi. He is an event consultant. He is the lead events producer of BZB Events. Good morning, Adetunji.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we've been having conversations on weddings and different weddings around the world and how they do their things. But we know, like we both know, in fact, everybody knows that in Nigeria, we are the king of doing weddings every Saturday. Sometimes some people even do their weddings on Mondays.
Yes, even Mondays. I've had to do Mondays, I've had to do Tuesdays, Thursdays, normal, Friday, normal, Sundays, yes. My last wedding was a Sunday.
Wow.
Most Islamic weddings are Sundays.
Okay, are weekday weddings more maybe exciting than weekends, or is it a bit more quiet?
This is the idea behind weekday weddings. Everybody wants to try and cut down the number of guests.
Oh,
you
that's
understand?
the idea.
Well, I don't think it is, because in my experience, weekdays, people still crash it.
Wow.
Exactly. Because lunch is 2, lunch is 3, I close by 5, and I know my friend is having his wedding. I just come in around 4 till...
Actually,
so what are we talking about?
I mean, the logic doesn't even work.
Exactly.
All right, so let's get into the conversation. So we know that in Nigeria, wedding preparations take a lot, because most people actually enjoy having ashwebi, having food, having music, and all of that. So as a experienced event planner, how does it go, really? How does preparations for wedding ceremonies go?
Okay. First of all, it takes 4 different processes.
All right.
You have the consultation phase. That's where you have to sit down with the couple, that's one. Then the stakeholders. Now, stakeholders, you mean daddies, you mean mommies, you mean aunties, sometimes uncles, because sometimes the couple here might not be the ones financing these events. In fact, 60% of the weddings you have in Nigeria presently, the couple might not be able to finance the wedding. You are talking of averagely a 300 guest event presently in Nigeria, nothing less than 5 million. You understand?
Wow.
So you are still talking about weddings, and then you need to now talk about the marriage. You understand? So a lot of things to prepare for, and then the posts part of their life.
Yes.
You understand? So when you now have mommies and daddies being part of the contributors, they just want to know what exactly you guys are doing. That's where. So my second meeting is always very important. That's where I need to know what daddy wants, what mommy wants. You understand? I've had a lot of funny scenarios where the couple tell me, we want something small. 350 guests. And then at the second meeting, I mentioned it in passing. So in our last conversation, they said 350 guests. And then the first mommy, that's the mommy of the groom, looks like the mommy of the bride. And then they look at me, Plana, kilo so. You understand? And then you hear, who is paying? Are they paying or are we paying?
Wow.
Sorry, in our family, there's nothing less than 750. So if we can get a hall that will sit 1.5, thank God for, well, I would say thank God for COVID, because it was a part of our lives that had to happen. You understand? So COVID taught us, you understand, they taught us how to plan for the small events. You understand? But right now, with the new regulation that just came, I think like 2-3 weeks ago, we can now do 500 guests.
Okay.
You understand? So we are going back to the large events. So I can imagine, you can imagine what happened pre. So you have a lot of 1,005, and then the average African, they just want something big. They are trying to claim status.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the consultation phase is one important phase. It can go for 6 months. It can go for 3 months, if you understand. So the consultation phase is very important. You get to know everything. Not even a first meeting, not even a second meeting. During some meetings, a lot of things will change, a lot of things will flip.
Yes.
So all those things you need to factor in before the big day. Now, the planning phase. With the planning phase, you have a lot of, okay, now that I know what you want, I need to be able to interpret it. So with the planning phase, the first thing is the budgeting. You have to sit down and, okay, we don't want small jobs, we want small jobs. Like one of the things I always insist, a Nigerian wedding, a 500 guests is never a 500 guests.
True.
We're talking about 750 or 800, you understand? So with that, you have to be able to plan when it comes to catering backup. You understand?
Okay.
So you have a main caterer one who does 500. And I would always insist and plead and beg, can we do a 200 backup?
Okay.
Because once it's 4, I can tell you 500 is gone. That's when the friends of the couple come in.
Coming in.
You get with the show B and all that. And then if you are a good planner, you should know that by 5, 6, 7 people are still going to come in.
Yes.
You get. So that's where the small chops thing come in. That's where the cocktail thing comes in. That's where the dessert thing comes in. You understand?
Yeah.
So for mommy and daddy, it's important that everybody eats.
Yes.
And then every stakeholder, I will tell you categorically, I kid you not, every stakeholder is subjective in their thinking. Everybody wants their guests to be properly taken care of.
Yeah.
So you can imagine me handling a 500 guest wedding that is turning to 800, and everybody wants me to be very personal about their guests.
Yes.
So auntie comes in, they have not given them food there. You understand? And then uncle says, my boss just came in. You need to get them served. And then the caterer keeps telling me, we already exhausted 300 plates. We are going to 200. So what are we going to do? So because of relationship again, you need to be able to get the right vendors that would understand you. That's the next thing. After budgeting, you get the budget, talk to the right vendors. The food person has to be on your side, the drinks person has to be on your side, because there are some times when you know that you have exhausted the 500, and then they can tell you, Tunji, relax. I have extras.
Wow.
You understand?
Yeah.
So those would always serve you. Drinks, you have cocktail, you have dessert, and then if you have high-flying Generation Z, Generation Alpha, Millennium couple, then you know that there's going to be an after party.
Definitely.
Sure.
So with an after party, we are talking about after party different sets of things. You are talking of grills, you are talking of shots, you are talking of alcohol, you are talking of lights, candles, so many things. That's a party away from the reception. So daddy, mommy goes, and then we have to say, and then after party, you are talking about another 200 guests.
Wow. Very interesting.
You understand? So a lot of things goes into it. Now, the day you actually know about, that's the third phase. That's the day everybody knows, and that is the D-Day. That's where the coordination itself comes in. That's what everybody thinks the wedding planner is all about. You come in that day, you find the decor on point, you have the food there, you have drinks, and everything goes. You have the ushers, you have the coordinators. That's the only thing everybody, you do not understand that 6 months before, there have been consultation, there have been planning, there have been fights.
Yes.
They've been coming together, there have been a lot of I'm sorry's, there have been a lot of thank yous.
Yeah, very interesting.
You understand? And then you move to D-Day. And then the final day, which most people don't know about, that's a post-event period. After this event, the event planner would always want to find out, what did we do well? What did we do well?
Okay.
And trust me, family, not even the couple this time around. Mommy, daddy, they have a lot of things to say, because there are a lot of their friends would have told them something. Jehu. You understand? We didn't eat. We did not. He didn't give me wine. You understand? Some funny things you get. You might think that everybody is happy But an uncle will tell you that, why did you make me sit down with him?
Wow.
It becomes that, you understand?
Even down to sitting positions.
Those are those things that come with wedding planning. That's why I would always say emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
If you're a wedding planner and then you have not done a course in it, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. So what are some of the biggest challenges that you mentioned some, you know, dealing with family and whatnot.
Exactly.
So, you know, okay, after, for instance, the consultation period, now you have everything you need for the wedding.
Exactly.
What are some of the challenges that you face as an events planner, you know, dealing with maybe like vendors or whatnot? So what are some of the challenges you face?
Okay, fine. This is it. One, I said something about people being subjective, especially in thinking, you understand? So expectations. Expectation is a major issue. Now, with expectation, one of your major duties as an event planner is to create an experience that everybody. Now, when I say everybody, I mean the clients, that's the couple, and then the stakeholders, and then the guests.
All right.
Now, the guests, you are still going to meet them on the third phase. That's the wedding day.
Yes.
You have never met any of them, but you have to be able to create an experience for them before meeting them. Now, creating that experience is always a big challenge because you need to be able to understand the kind of people that you are serving so that you'll be able to create that experience.
Right.
You understand? Okay. You are expecting something. Okay, like I went for a consultation once, and then I sat down with the parents, and then the parents told me that, okay, fine, the guests are coming from a particular part of Oyo State, Bogon.
Okay.
And then with the Bogon people, the amala has to be very hot.
Yes.
And then the meat has to be very big. And then there's a particular way we need to make sure that they are being served.
Yeah.
Now, I am from Ibadan.
Okay.
My mom is from Ondo. I don't think I've ever met anybody from that area. Now they are giving me the expectation. They are giving me that picture. Now, the couple already, they are friends. I'm loyal to those ones because, trust me, those are my next set of clients. So I need to be able to create an experience for them too. You get? So mommy and daddy insist that I work with the Bongo people and then have the guests too. So with a lot of things comes a lot of expectation. Everybody expects the wedding planner to be able to make sure that as long as you're on top of the game, everybody has to be satisfied one way or the other.
Okay.
That is a major issue. So you have to be able to sit down and script everything down.
Yeah.
That's where you now have to sit down and start thinking of delegation. You can't work alone. You will always have coordinators. So I have a coordinator that is in charge of the Bogon people for that wedding. So I tell you, for these people, you are sitting with their Malak people and make sure that they have exactly what they want. Now, with the couple, we came up with this in BZB. You always have a bride's PA and a groom's PA. The bride's PA resumes 5:30 in the morning, has some vendors with him, that's the makeup artist, the hairstylist, you understand? And then they cater to them from that morning to the end.
All right.
You understand? So if at all I get a call from them, then it means that it's an emergency. But trust me, my coordinators are also planners. You understand? So they know how to handle all those things. So I don't have to go to the hotel.
All right.
I will have to be in the hall. Now, that's one. Then number two, another challenge, it's with vendors.
Okay.
You understand? The way it runs in Nigeria, everybody wants to be able to cheat everybody.
Actually.
Wow. Exactly. So, daddies and mommy feels that if we get the vendors, the planner, they can cheat the planner out of the money. You get? So if I'm supposed to pay a planner 500,000, but if I have gotten the vendors, I'll just pay 300,000. I would say Lori. You know why? Because I would never charge based on that.
Right.
There's a serious scope. There's your concept and your content for your event. That's a major thing. That carries 60% of the bulk of the money I'm collecting.
All right.
Then the time I am going to work, the 6 months, the number of meetings I'm going to have and everything is going to. So the bulk of money going into vendor management is not so much.
All right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So everybody has their own logic when it comes to charging. Now, back to vendor sourcing and vendor management. Your parents bring in the vendors, and then they actually, not knowing, pay the vendors. So when they pay the vendors, and then the planner contacts the vendor, and then the vendor now tells you straight away that, no, I can't come for your vendors meeting. I already told who paid me.
Wow.
You understand? So handling vendors, especially vendors that are being paid for by the client, directly from the client, can be very dicey. You get? So you have to be able to sit down with them and then get to a proper level point. You understand?
Yeah.
That's where the contracting comes in too, because in my contract, I make it known that for every vendor that was not properly handed over to me, I would not be held responsible for their conduct.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, because now I'm thinking about it and it's making sense to me that there are times whereby event planners will complain and say that, okay, so this vendor was not from me, so
Yes,
I have
okay.
nothing, because, I mean, if you're trying to let them know that, oh, there's no food and everything, and you'd have to let them know too that,
Because sometimes auntie brings in an alamala person that you're making amala. You understand?
Right.
And then she gives instruction. Those are my guests, and she doesn't say anything else. And then you go to meet the person. So can we have amala on this other side? And the person tells no. The person that
brought me here.
told me to serve only them there.
Wow.
Wow, yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that's why some of those things that you need to also understand as a wedding planner is you need to make sure that whatever happens, some things must go round. The main food must go round. The main drinks must go round. You understand? Small chops should be able to cover at least 60% of the hall.
60?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, cocktails should be able to cover 60. Dessert should be able to cover 60. So one way or the other, I will be getting 2 out of 3. If I don't get,
If you don't get everything.
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
But some things must be on your table. The food and the drinks is very important.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So when some aunties now decide to do some other surprise things,
Meals, yeah.
exactly.
That even works out.
You understand?
Yeah.
So those are majorly the issue, the expectation and then the vendor management, then guest control, because Nigerians are not that kind of people that will want to get into the venue and then, so this is a guest list. Can we know your names? They're like, why did you invite us?
It's not about that.
We don't have to fight about it.
Yeah.
I just need your name. So I just stick you in and you can go in. It
Yeah.
happens in every wedding.
Yeah.
It happened in my last event. We had to practically beg a mommy that almost was going to go back home because the usher asked,
What is your name?
Exactly.
Wow.
You have your card. Your card is in your bag, and then you're telling me you don't want to bring out your card.
Wow.
You understand?
Okay, all right. So, have you ever been faced with a situation where you're planning a wedding and down the line you've gone through consultation period, you're probably talking to the vendors, and then down the line the couple decide we're not doing this anymore? How do you deal with those situations? Do you still get paid fully? Are there refunds? Like, how do you deal with those kind of
Beautiful.
situations?
I like that question. Now, so this is it. You remember I said something about your contract?
Yes.
You must always have a contract at the beginning of your event. Now, the component of your contract has a lot of things. The first one talks about the introduction. That's everything that we talked about. Then the second thing is your mode of payment.
Okay.
Very important. Now, in my mode of payment, it states that before I even start working, you have to pay me 40% of my money.
Wow.
That's my management fee.
All right.
You understand? And then I have it down. So in the middle of the work, that's in the middle of the planning phase, you have to pay me another 40%, making 80, remaining 20. Now, towards the end, you always have a meeting called the vendors meeting, where you bring in all the stakeholders and all the vendors, and then we can have a final sit-down meeting. This is what it should be. This is how it should be. This is where I want you to set up. This is what time you're coming in. That meeting is very crucial. You understand? So on the day of that meeting, you have to pay me my balance.
Right.
You understand? Because even if there's no, we are not doing again, there will always be, they have to go for honeymoon.
True.
I can't be calling you after honeymoon. Hello, I have to remind you my balance and everything. So I always have to get my balance. And then the 20% is also supposed to help me handle coordination.
All right.
You understand? Now, another part of the contract talks about cancellation policies.
Okay.
So in the case of an issue, you want to terminate the contract, there's some particular percentage that goes to me. And then I can't refund. Like, I always have it stated, the first tranche that you give to me, the first 40% is non-refundable. You understand? That seals your date. That makes sure that, okay, for that particular date, I don't have any other clients for that date.
And essentially, we are going to have to discuss this because we have to leave, but we'll have to call you back so we can have more conversations.
It's so much fun talking to you.
It's so much fun. I feel like there's so much questions in my mind because I still want to ask you who is your client, because I know you were saying something about the mommies, the daddies, and then the
so who exactly is your client?
Everybody is my client.
The whole family.
Everybody, the whole family is my client. You understand? It can't be the couple alone. Because I won't be catering to the couple. They will be sitting there. So you understand? They will be sitting there.
Exactly.
But you still have mommy and daddies that will come and meet you. Aunties will come and meet you.
Very true.
So everybody is your client. You have to be able to. That's where your emotional intelligence comes in. You have to be able to handle everybody.
You know what? I think we're going to have
we'll
you on the show. Yeah, we're going to have to
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you for letting us draw from your wealth of knowledge.